Thank you for joining in once again and listening to another episode of the Edible Valley Podcast. I'm chef and host Jonathan Fraser.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Howlett. Join us again as we go on another culinary adventure of the Comox Valley and beyond.
All right, Darren. Well, welcome back. We're doing episode 167 today.
Yeah. Wow. Can't believe it. Yeah, today we're going to talk about going back to work. The title is Back to Work today. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of segments sort of centered around back to work.
I know. Well, you know, we've all survived COVID so far, and they've backed off on all the restrictions, or not all the restrictions.
Right. They've eased up
a little bit. So the two of us are kind of slowly getting back to work.
Yeah.
And but you've been working on a little project at home that we thought we'd talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I did not intend. I've never in my life intended on doing anything like this. Just all of a sudden found that I had some free time, and my kids. It actually really has always spun out of something with my kids, where we were talking about their future life and when they go to college, and my son and my daughter were both saying, oh, I'll need that recipe and I'll need that. And it makes me laugh because they're both like 13, 14.
I'm just glad to hear your kids planning to go to college.
Right? And I was like, oh, I should write these down. Oh, I should write this down. Oh, I should write that down. And at the same time, I'm just kind of dipping my toe in photography.
Right.
And it hit me that I could write a cookbook. And lo and behold, I did. I wrote a cookbook, and I started the framework for a few others. And actually, as of recording this, I'm halfway through my second one already.
So we're talking about Cooking with Darren, or what's the title?
No, we're going to call them they're education. My intent, my idea is that I want to take people that have zero experience in the kitchen, essentially like my kids, or like the recently single that never cooked a day in their life, or those people that are just leaving home, or whatever, the people that don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, and give them that framework, give them the basics, and show them how easy and fast it is to be taking care of yourself in the kitchen with some basic skills, basic foods, basic shopping, and build from there. So that's sort of a whole bunch of quick knowledge right off the bat. And I know that I don't have a publisher, and I knew I wouldn't get a publisher because I don't have a cooking show or whatever under my belt.
Right.
So my plan was to self-publish through any of the Kindle services where you can just download it for very, very cheap. So at the moment, I'm just finishing up photography. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm halfway through photography on the first one.
Well, we started playing a little bit. We did that king cole duck.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was such a fun. If you didn't check that out, you should check out the Edible Valley Instagram page, where we documented a ton of duck recipes that we were trying out.
Yeah. We didn't actually put up recipes. We just did.
No, yeah, we just fooled around with photography while we were cooking with duck.
And it's another thing, if you're on Instagram, just to check out Try the Duck.
Yeah, Try the Duck was the hashtag.
Yeah, and there was like chefs from all across North America, I think.
Yeah.
Gosh, I should know more about this. I was involved. I basically got an email from the Chefs Association saying, would you like to do some pictures of duck?
Yeah.
Would you like some duck to do some pictures?
Yeah,
and
that was great.
Sent a case of duck. And I was like,
that was amazing.
Oh, God. And this will trail into what I'm doing. But
yeah.
I phoned Darren. I was like, Darren, I know you've been playing with some food photos. I got to get this done. And so we just literally 3 hours, I think, we cleaned, cooked, and presented.
I think we tried it in like 10 different ways.
Yeah. 10 different ways. And
it was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. And then the kids ate it, and I brought some home for Will, and he was ecstatic. So, other than a toothpick that was in the one
no. Hilarious.
that it caught him. But sorry, I sidetracked from your little
That's okay.
there.
No, I'm still a few months away from being able to publish it, but when I do, I guarantee I will be announcing it here because I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the follow-up with it as well. So, I'll as soon as it's ready and available for download, I'm looking at very, very cheap because there was no expense in creating it. It's just my time.
Yeah.
So, I encourage everybody to check it out once it's ready.
And I have to admit, I browsed through
Yeah. Oh yeah, John, you're editing. You're doing content editing.
A little bit of editing on it.
Yeah.
And there's some really great little recipes in
well,
there.
Thank you.
That'd be kind of helpful. The first one was all about sides not sides, but sauces.
Yeah.
Cold sauces. And so,
that one's going to end up being book 2.
Is that going to end up being 2?
Okay. The one I'm writing right now is going to be book 1 because it's really taking it to the beginning.
Perfect.
Yeah. For somebody that their skills are like, I know how to make toast and boil water. Then if that's your skill set, then I can work with you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of them. There was a balsamic fig jam that you did, and or you're
quite like that one
spread.
Yeah.
And then like how to make kimchi, how to do some simple pickling,
simple pickling, simple sauces, simple salad dressings, really just some really easy things to make at home that can take your basic food and just elevate them that little bit if you're again at a beginner's level.
Yeah.
It's showing you how easy it is to start adding flavor to your food.
Exactly. Things that you can come up and get done in the day before, or a couple of days, and have ready for the next couple of days. So
Yeah. And it's presented as though you don't know what you're doing. So I spell everything out completely, assuming you've never read a recipe before.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the cookbook. So I've been doing that. And then maybe, I didn't really plan on getting a job, but you started working in your new job, and then they said, hey, does your podcast partner need a job? Because and now I'm there too. But really, you're the star of the show on this one.
Well, I think that what they said is, hey, Darren. I'm like, yeah, he's a bartender, right? I'm like, well, did you know he used to own a bar?
Yes, I did.
Anyways, so and so you came along and joined me at Local's Restaurant as I've taken over the position of head chef,
which is amazing.
Yeah, which is super exciting for me. It's not the as in Renaud St. Pierre is still there, still owns the place, still overseeing everything that goes on there. Yeah, which is amazing for me to have this, to be mentored by this person.
He's an amazing, amazing man.
Yes, exactly.
I've been fortunate enough to work with him a few times in my life and always had the utmost respect for him.
Yeah, and I've always challenged to try and get that number 1 chef position from him, and I've never been able to do it. So, sometimes you just have to join them to beat them, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I did notice on Facebook and other social media in the last few days, he's pointed out some of the menu changes, and every time he's so ecstatic to show how you've taken that recipe that next step further, or you've adjusted it to accommodate the current clientele, or he's just really proud of your touch on everything.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know what? I'm amazed at the team that he has established, and just the systems and how the whole restaurant runs. Like,
absolutely.
It's a big restaurant with a lot going on and a lot of moving parts, and it's been a lot of fun just getting in there. And I mean, honestly, at this point, my brain is kind of just about exploding, because you forget how much knowledge and how much information. Like, I look at a normal cook who comes in and they just have to memorize the menu.
Yeah.
And then I'm having to memorize the menu, which I've created and changed everything. So they have a style that they were doing, and I've moved everything. So now everyone's trying to figure that out. And then we stick masks on because we're in a COVID world. And so we want to keep it as clean as possible in there and protect our customers at every point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, having a timer going every half an hour just to give a reminder to everyone to wash their hands, and, the face mask. So which is another difficulty, because I feel like you're yelling at everyone in the kitchen because everything gets muffled. So everyone's like, blah, blah, blah. And then, we're like, what did you say? And like, you pull down your mask.
Yeah, just to say it.
I need an order of potatoes, and then you put your mask back on, you go over, wash your hands, and then you go back to work, right?
Right.
So there's lots of little difficulties, but just even then remembering, where we get each item from, because it's not something I established, and definitely dealing with local farmers, and different farms and different people and different producers.
It's not even just learning all your new vendors. It's that there's a whole new procedure for dealing with vendors in general. Like, you've got a lot to accustom to,
Yeah. Well, I've got okay, so I have to put an order in on Friday for next Wednesday for Tannadice Farms,
Right.
I have to put an order in for Prontissima pasta on, Wednesday for Thursday. But, and learning those days and
exactly
who from where and there. And there's a bunch of farms that I'm learning, and it's great, working Pattison Farms up in Murrayville there, like bringing in all those fresh, the fresh greens and having that on the menu. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of learning those and figuring out and how much to have. And there was a point they had it pretty dialed in.
Yeah.
And now that we're running, we're past it now, but running with 50% occupancy, it's cut back, and a lot of people are, very timid to come out and are just learning that we're open up again. And so it's sort of a slow process.
Absolutely.
Slowly building every night. So,
and I'd remiss if I didn't mention the fact that locals, Ronald St. Pierre, Pattison Farms, Prontissima, and you mentioned another farm there. These are all past episodes if you want to check our backlog and check out when we talk to all these people individually. But we're not name dropping now. But it just seems that this is all coming full circle. All these people that you've always talked about and talked to. Mm-hmm. And here we are, dealing and creating this food community with again.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. And it's neat because I've got my certain farmers, like Bates Beach is another one that I was just talking to today or yesterday because I needed tomatoes, but it's been pretty rainy.
Right.
And so they're like, we have lots of great tomatoes. We just need like a good solid week of like some good sun to really get them just to pop into that red. So, those are the things that I'm going through right now. But it's a lot of fun. It's nice to be back in a real kitchen.
Yeah.
It's nice to have like a good team to work with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And just, going through all the rolls and punches of it.
And it's been a little bit odd for me too, again, because I wasn't really looking for employment. I'm self-sufficient, but this seemed like an opportunity to be social, and I have not been very social for a while. So it seemed like a great thing and something that I've got a lot of experience and expertise in. So I decided I accepted the position that they offered, and having fun bartending again. I'm sort of removed from it for about 10 years now. About 10 years. I was bartending at Atlas for that first year that I worked there.
Right.
But that's like 10 years ago now. So, and I guess Will and I are going to talk a little bit more about that in an upcoming segment in the next few weeks.
I think we're going to space it out. You guys are sat down and you talked a little bit about cocktails. And you showed your... I want to say your Tom Cruise moves bottle tossing. No,
I don't have the bottle tossing. I had a few employees that had amazing bottle tossing skills, so I can't sit here and say I had them. They would call me out on that immensely. But we're going to talk about cocktails, and we're going to spin this into a little segment here and on my YouTube channel, and we're going to call it Bar None. Because right now there are no bars, and I thought that was pretty funny. Not funny that there are no bars, but I thought it was a pretty funny name. So, we're going to talk about cocktails, and if you go to the YouTube connected to it, I will show you how to make cocktails. And nothing groundbreaking, just some popular stuff that's happening right now and getting everybody back into it. Dusting off your liquor bottles and making some tasty cocktails.
Bringing out all the little tools, the swirly spoon and the shakers. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. We're also planning on talking with a local restaurant. Yeah, we've been talking. Are we talking? I don't know how much we're giving away here. Are we talking to one of the new restaurants? Or are we talking to one of the others? We're going to let people guess a little bit. Sure. Just because, we want to... It's time we can get out on the community a little bit. Yeah. Maybe a Zoom call, but whatever. We're going to find out what people are doing with their restaurants. I mean, a lot of things have changed. Like, I know there's a lot of restaurants in Cumberland that aren't bothering to open up their service anymore because they're getting lots of volume from takeout, where there's other places that tried takeout and it failed miserably. Right. So, it's kind of it's a roller coaster right now. And I think the restaurant industry, I guess we should talk a little bit about this, is going to have some hard times over the next next little while. So if you want to get out there and help support our culinary community, and you have the means to, like, get out to some restaurants and help support them, because I know they're trying times, because expenses are up.
Yeah.
And labor is down.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole new world. So.
I know a lot of people think that, or act as though, everything is going to go back to a normal after this. And the thing is it won't, because a lot of businesses are permanently damaged, and we won't see that for a few more months, how far reaching that is. But everything won't go back to normal. Things have changed, and we're going to lose businesses out of this. And it's unfortunate and harsh, and nobody wants to say that, but it's the truth. So, support people where you can. And, I'm not in whatever, your dollars count more than ever right now. So whether that's in, supporting your local farms, supporting your local restaurants, what have you, this is the time.
Well, Darren,
oh no,
hit our timer now. We're trying to keep these down with timers so that we keep going really well.
Yeah.
But we had one last thing we wanted to talk about, and that's about the podcast itself.
Sure.
About just throwing a little out there to the community of our listeners, and say that we're looking for a little bit of help.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking about this. We love staying regular and consistent and putting out consistent shows. And to do that, we definitely need a little bit of a help, whether that's a producer, which would be amazing. But even if we can't find a producer, somebody that would be willing to do some edits, or somebody willing to intern, any help right now would be fantastic. And please get in touch with us through any of the means that John's about to list.
Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot there. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're looking for, is just a little bit of help, like whether organizing interviews, setting up podcasts, doing a little bit of the editing, and just making sure we have good write-ups for everything, and that we can publish on a regular basis, because we like our podcast, because we feel like we get to promote the great things in our community.
Yeah.
I like to feel like I'm a bit of an ambassador to all the local farmers and chefs and producers, and just, talk about their story and just get out there and really explore. So if that's something you're interested in doing, we're always looking for help. So you can send us an email to the ediblevalley@gmail.com. Of course, get us on Facebook at the Edible Valley Podcast, and Twitter, Edible Valley. And pretty much, if you just Google Edible Valley and throw it out there,
you're going to come up with a way to
get a hold of us. So.
Sure. Yeah, and, we don't know exactly what position would end up being based on your skill set, or what it would, what sort of benefit it would have for you, aside from, we guarantee that you'll definitely get all the credit, and we will come up with ways of some sort of a monetary or remuneration in some capacity, but talk to us.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Edible Valley Podcast.